So Sonal is going to talk to us about Astrostays, and be prepared, this is an amazing project. Astrostays, creating sustainable livelihoods. It's a very nice project that I had the opportunity to meet already. Now we can see beautiful Sonal. So the floor is yours. You can start sharing your screen, and I will let you know when your time is ending, okay? So
Thank you,
you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Rosa. I'm just sharing my screen, and please do let me know if it is, whenever it is visible.
It's coming. Yeah, it's there, but not in presentation mode.
Yeah, I'm just, all right.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Thank you, Rosa, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, depending on where you are on the planet. And thank you very much to the GHOU organizers, first of all, who have given us a platform to talk about our project. So the Astrostays program started exactly 2 years ago with the support of Office of Astronomy for Development. I usually say that, you know, when you start something, you never always have a sense of why. You know, sometimes start with a dream and a passion, and Astrostays started exactly like that. And we wrote a proposal to Office of Astronomy for Development back in 2018. Fortunately, it was accepted and the program began. So I'll take you on a journey on how far we have come with this project and where is it that we intend to go ahead with it. So before I begin the presentation, I would like to share this my presentation with this picture. On the right, on the left, you see a group of professional astronomers in a very high-end setup, and on the right, you see another group of people, again with a telescope, but in a very remote area, in a mountainous setup. And if I try to draw a parallel between both of these pictures, of course, both of them have telescopes and apparently using it. But the common thread that binds both of these pictures is that both these groups are using science as a consumable, of course, in a very different way. And that's how Astrostays began. We wanted to see if astronomy could be used as a vehicle for development intervention. And this talk today is about the journey of the group of people on the right who we started using astronomy on a very grassroots level to create new economic opportunities for the communities and create sources of revenue generation. So a little bit about our organization, Global Himalayan Expedition. We are a social enterprise who have been in the development sector for almost 8 years now. GHE works towards providing clean energy access in the remote areas in Himalayas. So far, we've electrified 130 villages, impacted 60,000 lives directly, and offset almost 8,700 tons of carbon dioxide. And to give you a context of the area that we work in, we work in Himalayas, the youngest mountain range on the planet. They start from Afghanistan on the east, move towards Pakistan, India, Bhutan, and then finally end in Bangladesh. And the picture on the right, where you see this yellow colored territory, it's Ladakh, which is part of the Indian Himalayas, and that's where we work. Himalayas, even though they are the youngest planet range on the planet, but they are still the most fragile ecosystem. They are home to over 50 million people, and there are another 450 million that are settled at the base. And lack of electricity, education, and access to sustainable monetary incomes are some critical problems that are surrounding these remote communities. But despite the challenges that these communities face, they have centuries-old culture, rich heritage, and tourism is one of the major drivers of economy these areas. And one of the biggest assets that Himalayas have are their clear night skies. And this is something that we wanted to leverage to see if the sky could be used as a resource to create new economic opportunities for the communities that are residing in these mountainous regions. And then this journey began 2 years ago. We selected a group of 35 people, which consisted of almost 30 women from 15 remote villages of Ladakh, and trained them in a 3-day astronomy workshop. So we had professional astronomers who flew from south of India to Ladakh to provide these selected attendees basics of basic skill set on astronomy and how to operate telescopes. So the picture that you see on right is a workshop where there are women, and you also see some disabled people who are actually learning how to use a GOTO tracking telescope. And this led to genesis of the Astrostays. So Astrostays essentially are community homestays which have astronomy as a major focus for the travelers who are coming in. So it is a softer tourism model. It does not have to depend on an observatory or in particular an astronomical facility, but it is essentially a community-centered model which has a whole package of experience that is given to the traveler, with astronomy being one of the biggest factors in it. And this is a snapshot of the impact that Astrostays has created. We have tried to map it with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And you can see that, apart from boosting local economy and creating livelihood opportunities, which were not known to these lesser known remote communities, it has also led to sustainable tourism, because one of the biggest resources that is used in Astrostays is the sky. And there can be nothing more eco or sustainable than using that resource for using tourism. And it's also led to women empowerment, because most of the astropreneurs, as I will talk about it in the coming slides, are women who are actually running homestays. The men in Ladakh are usually guides who move out of their homes, to serve as guides or taxi drivers or just tourist personnel, and it's the women who actually stay back home and run these homestays. So most of these women are now being trained in the skills of astronomy, and they are using that skill in the night time to earn extra money for their communities and families. When we started the Astrostays program, obviously astronomy is a very daunting word for somebody who has not been introduced to it. So we had to build up on the indigenous astronomy, basically the indigenous tales that the community had in terms of navigation, in terms of how they used stars for harvesting, and then map it to the modern science. So in the picture that you see, these women who did not have access to even smartphones are now using stellarium to figure out various constellations and planets. So before the tourists and the travelers come in, they have a good look at the sky and they identify that these are the objects that they'll be showing to the travelers tonight. And they're well prepared to run that program. There are a few pictures from the astronomy sessions that we've conducted, right from a monk that you see on the top right. There are also a lot of tourists, kids and the locals who have come to attend these sessions in these villages. And these are the kind of homestays that have been set up. So when the tourists have to, stay back at night, for the astronomy sessions, this is the kind of hospitality that they are given. So astropreneurs is the word that we have given to the telescope operators who are actually, or to the women who are actually running these homestays. To me, an astropreneur is somebody who is using astronomy primarily to generate income and revenue for their communities. So I would actually like to share the story of one of our astropreneurs, Tanzin Dolkar. I would like you to see the video first, and then I'll talk about it. Just a second.
My name is Tanzin Dolkar. I am from Maan. I live in Maan and I am 21 years old. My village is nearby China border. It's the one of remote area. with 8 family members, 1 mother, 1 grandfather, and 6 siblings, 1 brother and 5 sisters. In morning time, I work 6:30 a.m. and after that I will have me with mother to cook a breakfast and tea. And after that we will take a good milk and also cow milk. Nowadays I am studying 12th class in subject economics, English and also history. Without education, there's like not value of people. And nowadays study is so very important in our life. That's why I study continue.
Om Mani Padme Hum. I don't like Leh. There's also lots of populations and lots of traffic. Not good. And lots of traffic. Not good. In my village, not population. And also sky is clear. Nice village, lots of activities. I was thinking that in future life I'm going to India country and also Nepal. I'm so happy in my village Wi-Fi, and before in my village no Wi-Fi, no network. Then Wi-Fi is here, that's why benefits in Wi-Fi. Jupiter, this is Saturn. In 2018, so many scientists come in Bangalore. They teach about telescope and astronomy. In Maan village, they all set up a telescope. In night, tourists come and see the telescope, and I like give instruction of tourists horse body and tail. Before we all know confident and know lots of knowledge, and I'm so happy to know what's the sky on so many constellations and our planet Jupiter and Saturn. That's why I feel so happy to work a telescope operator. My favorite planet is Saturn and favorite constellation star is Cassiopeia. My
My name is Tanzin Dulkar, and this is daily routine.
So this was one of our astropreneurs, Tanzin Dolkar. She honestly is a personal hero. You know, she's been instrumental in running this program and actually leading this program in Maan village where this Astrostays has been set up. You know, notwithstanding the fact that, you know, whether it's 12 or 1 at night, so we train them and we come back, but you know, these astropreneurs are the one who are deep in trenches and actually holding the fort for everybody coming in when you know, the night comes over and they have to, you know, start the astronomy session. So yeah, I mean, so this is what you can actually do when you bring science from laboratories into the hands of broader public. You can actually create magic. And
so now,
this is the kind
just a quick announcement. You have 2 minutes left.
Sure, Rosa. Thank you. I'll hasten it up. So this is the kind of impact that Astrostays has created so far. And the money that has been generated through these astronomy sessions and through the Astrostays is actually being reinvested back for community development. So in the COVID times, they're now reinvesting it to see what further infrastructure can be built in. So we just had solar water setup that was done through the money that was generated through the astronomy sessions. There was a greenhouse that has been recently set up, boosting sustainability and agriculture in Ladakh, because it's mostly a barren, dry and cold desert of sorts. So to be able to give them a sustainable infrastructure for growing their crops and harvesting is also something that they have been doing through the revenue that's been generated through these astronomy program. And I would leave you while summarizing, I'll just leave you with this thought that can the Astrostays actually encourage design thinking? You know, making a model of astronomy and hospitality together, where it is not just a skill set of astronomy that's being taught to these astropreneurs and the community members, but also hospitality programs, which combined together creates a new form of sustainable tourism program. So just one of these again. And lastly, astronomy, you know, is usually considered a very privileged and a luxury science, but we have seen through this project, even though on a very small scale, that when it is brought out from observatories and astronomical facilities into the grassroots level, it can actually create wonders. Even though, you know, we have now tried to start mapping the stars and the skies to the modern science, that's how we have been training them, but astronomy is something that has transcended humanity, culture and geographies for ages. And the way forward is to essentially find potential partners and communities. So we are working with the Office of Astronomy for Development to see where this project can be implemented in similar geographies. Of course, the application cannot be universal. It will be tailored to the kind of geography where it has to be set up, but then can we create a modular framework where these astrostays can be set up in such remote communities to boost sustainable development. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So now it was mind-boggling, as I suspected it was going to be. I think this is a wonderful project. Thank you so much for sharing and inspiring everyone. I think you are setting up an example here of things that can be done. When there's a will, there's a way. And now you have to take us all there, because the video was amazing. The place is amazing. So we have to organize a Jihu tour specifically for all of us to learn on site how you guys are doing this amazing work. Unfortunately, we don't have time for questions. There is one question for you in the Q&A. I'll ask you please to go there and answer in writing the question that was posed to you.